People often think that they have good balance if they can just stand on one leg and close their eyes and hold that for 30 seconds. But the reality is balance is about more than just being in this one position and being able to maintain it. So in this video, I'm going to show you a simple balance exercise that'll help you build strength in your legs and your hips. And I'm going to show you how to take it from beginner level to advanced level so that you can get better and better whether you are 30 years old or 70 years old. So if you're ready, let's get ready to think right, move right, and feel right. So let's jump into the very beginner level of this exercise. So you're going to be putting all your weight onto one leg. You're going to bend that knee just a little bit to wherever it's comfortable with no knee pain. You're going to stand next to some kind of sturdy furniture or a wall so that you can use some help to balance you. Your other foot is going to stay on the ground, but you're going to bend the knee and take weight off of that foot. So you can see I've got it there. It's helping me a little bit. You're going to just hold this position, okay? As you're holding this position, you want your weight to be just flat into your foot, evenly distributed. You're going to hold this position for 20 to 60 seconds, feeling your leg muscles and your butt, your low butt muscles working. Hold that, feel the fatigue. When you feel like, ooh, I can't really do much more safely, then go ahead and come out of it, relax, switch sides. Same thing, holding on to something as long as you actually need it. Now, to make this more challenging, you're gonna start taking away support. So we've got 2 points of support. We've got the wall or furniture that we're holding onto. We got the other foot. We can take away the hand, or we can take away the foot, and just get used to stabilizing, all right? We're just stabilizing this position, okay, using less and less help until we feel like, okay, I can actually maintain this without any help at all. So you're doing this on both sides. Whichever side you feel is weaker, do some extra time. That could be 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Just do some extra for the weaker, more wobbly side. And before I forget, I want to ask you, why are you thinking about improving your balance? What brought you to this video? Is it a sport? Is it an activity? Is it something that happened? Let me know. Drop me a comment in the comment section down below. Another thing to play around with here is where your weight is distributed on your foot. So if you want to feel your glutes more, you will likely find it helpful to bring your weight a little more forward onto the ball of your foot, into the toes a little bit more, and you can even start raising the heel a little bit, and you're gonna likely feel your glutes fire up even more. You can experiment with going way back, see how your balance feels there, onto the heel, right? And then come forward and hang out there. See what that does. You're gonna notice that a lot of us basically spend no time weighted onto the front of the foot in a static hold. So then when we go to do things like running or any sort of sport, we're actually really unstable in this forward position. This has happened to me. It is happening to me the more and more I sit while editing videos for you. So when these muscles are poor at engaging in this position, guess what? If you trip, lose your footing, just kind of stumble, you can't engage these, there's no stopping you from forward falling. So you have to get these muscles to be able to fire here strongly to get you to correct before you tumble into the floor. Before we go on to the next level of the exercise, just want to talk really quickly about what's going on. So when we are in that bent leg position, we are tensioning up the glutes, tensioning up some of the hamstrings, and we are working the ankle muscles, a little bit of the shin, but a lot of the calf and the foot muscles. Those are all important in being able to react to a change in your body's position. Yes, being able to do some of this stuff with your eyes closed could be somewhat helpful, but really, most of the time, you're gonna have your eyes open as you're navigating the world. And if you want to improve your balance, your biggest gains are gonna be from having muscles that can react when they need to react to correct your position and get you back to walking forward rather than falling or buckling at the knee. So the next step of this exercise is to just be freestanding with no help. And then we're going to start reaching with the foot. So we can be tapping over here, tapping over there. We're thinking about going in a big, wide circle all over and around our bodies. So if you find you need help, you get unstable, use some help. but you're trying to bring that foot all over the place, okay? So you can see right now, I've gone into this arc, but I've kept my pelvis pointing towards you, my chest mostly pointing towards you. So that's that first stage of this where we're free floating and really tapping around, just going around the world. But we can make this harder in a second. But before we do that, I want to say don't rush to it because I want you to get good at this first. Also, I want you to think about where your weight is on your foot. Is it more in the heel? Is it shifted over to the ball of your foot? Whatever it is, play around with it. Get used to being able to do this in multiple positions. So can you get here? Can you get here? Can you get way out to the side? Can you go way over here? Can you go way over there? Okay, so all these different positions to tap with your foot. Then when you feel like you've got that pretty good or you just want a new challenge, you can start thinking about opening it up more. So now, can I go like this as I twist my body open? Can I twist my body way open over here? Okay, can I go way over here? Still keeping weight in the stance leg. Do this on both sides, explore, keeping things square, going around the world. And then when you feel comfortable, confident, then you can start to open it and really challenge the hip and leg of the stance leg to be able to change the pelvis position while still feeling like you're in control. When you introduce these reaches, feel free to grab your skeleton friend and his platform and use some help. See if you can just hold a position. If it feels really shaky, with some assistance, hold that position, experiment with where your weight is on the foot, heel to toe, hold it, and then come back to it. The goal again is to be able to master a huge variety of positions that would feel awkward because you don't practice them, and then make them less awkward by being in them more and more often. So in the typical, I'm just gonna close my eyes and stand on one leg exercise, you're basically training the femur and the pelvis to be in this one position with like a little bit of perturbation, not that much. But what we're doing with this exercise is teaching you to control more positions, right? So as we are going and reaching over this way, we're creating hip internal rotation and making sure that the hip muscles can stabilize everything in that position. When we reach back a little bit, we're creating a little external rotation. And then when we do the big openings, then we're really opening up into hip external rotation and getting all of our hip muscles used to being there. That's also getting the leg muscles, the quads, the inner thighs, the hamstrings to get used to firing in that more open position. Your glutes are gonna have to fire, everything's gonna have to work. Your calf muscles, your ankle muscles, they all need to work in these positions because again, what happens if you're walking around on a slippery piece of pavement and suddenly, whoop, you're out here where you were expecting to just be here? Well, if you can do this, congratulations, but the real challenge is not this. The challenge is, whoa, I slipped. Can I maintain my body's position in space without collapsing completely or without falling back, right? So that's why we're training these. So oops, something hit my leg, a toddler swept my leg out. Am I able to recover and then get back to my starting position? Hey, we want to take a quick second to say thank you to these people for supporting this channel. Your support helps make videos like this possible without me having to put in advertisements for supplements, website builders, or VPNs. So thank you so much. If you want to donate and support this channel too, go to uprighthealth.com/donate for all the easy options, or you can find me on PayPal at paypal.me/uprighthealth. Thank you so much for your support. Now let's get back to the video. And now let's get to the more advanced stage of this exercise. You're just gonna take something that is unstable. You're gonna put it on the ground and you're gonna stand on it while doing these exercises. So I've got this cushy, wobbly balance pad. It's just a kind of like rubbery foam underfoot. You can use towels, pillows, cushions. Balance pads are nice because they are a little more resilient and they're a little, I'm not sure if the word is firm, but they resist you a little bit more than like your bedroom pillow would. But start off with something that you have just handy lying around, and then you're gonna stand on it. Do everything the same that we've talked about from start to finish. So when you begin, you might need a little bit of help. You can think about taking away that help when it feels more stable. Though the balance pad will introduce some wobble, which means your ankle and your hip muscles are gonna have to work a lot to stabilize you against some of the side-to-side forces, some of the twisting forces, some of the front-back forces. So you're just having to learn to accommodate for all of those different sudden perturbations. Then, of course, we can start tapping around the world, tapping out to the side, tapping back behind, tapping over, and then you can start to really start twisting the hips, or twisting the pelvis, opening it up, tapping, trying to balance, just like so. And if we want to make it much harder, we can just try to hug in here, keep our hands still, don't use our hands. But I kind of like using the hands because it's, I mean, I'm very rarely handcuffed when I'm walking through life. Hopefully that statement is also true for you. If you are getting handcuffed quite often, then maybe working on your balance is the least of your concerns. So doing it with hands out, I like just because it's kind of like more dancey, and also it's kind of more related to surfing, which I like to do too. So being able to move my hands around, get used to doing that is more fun. But if you want the extra challenge, just keep your hands still. Keep them tucked in on your chest, belly, hips, whatever you want to do. And if you want to go to the next level, you can make this surface even more unstable. You could get yourself something like a Bosu ball and stand on that. And if you want to go super next level, like circus level, then you can get yourself a yoga ball and practice standing on that. But this video is not about that. I'm not going to teach you that. It's been a long time since I stood and balanced on a yoga ball. It's not really worth the risk, I think, once you're beyond a certain age, unless you are definitely capable and confident and strong enough to withstand the potential fall from a yoga ball.
How often should I do this exercise?
Great question, Bonies. So I recommend, number one, that you remember that slow is safe and fast is foolish. You don't want to try to do this exercise every single day, 4 times a day. Start off with something that feels manageable for you. I would suggest in the very first week, just do it twice. So maybe Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Saturday. That gives you time to feel the effects of these exercises so that if you're going to get super sore, you're not going to get crazy, crippling sore, because I don't want you to cripple yourself with soreness. So if you do it Monday, the soreness might show up on Wednesday. So if you were also doing the exercise on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the soreness from Monday hits, it's actually going to be the soreness of all 3 days hitting you at once. So I'm just saying, slow is safe, fast is foolish. Maybe after that first week you felt like 2 times wasn't enough. Do some more. Try it 3 times that week or 4 times that week. Just try to listen to your body, because somebody who has been sedentary for a long time is going to respond a lot differently from somebody who is generally physically active. So I don't know the exact dosage that's going to work for you and that will be safe for you. You have to figure that out.
How long should I do the balance exercise for?
Another great question. So 30 to 60 seconds on each side with the static holds or with those reaches with your foot. And you want to make sure you do at least 2 sets, maybe 3 or 4, depending on how it feels for you. Personally, I like to throw these in throughout the day a little bit just to wake up my glutes, because when I'm sitting in a chair editing videos like this or writing articles or doing whatever it is I do on the internet all day, I need to wake up these muscles or my hips will just not feel that great and my balance will suffer.
Are these safe if I'm 80 years old?
How old are you, by the way?
Nobody knows.
In my totally non-medical opinion, there is no magic cutoff age where certain exercises become dangerous for you. The risk-reward ratios can get out of whack depending on you as an individual. Like I mentioned earlier, if you have been sedentary and your body is really atrophied from decades of not moving, then how you do an exercise and how often you do it can be very different from somebody who's been more active and who has more muscle mass and better coordination. So when you're picking exercises and doing exercises, you want to keep in mind that form is crucial and that you want to minimize the risk of injury from doing that exercise. So if it's a high skill exercise, maybe it's not going to be good for you if it requires more skill than you have. For example, I would never tell a 70-year-old woman who has never lifted weights to start doing clean and jerk Olympic style weightlifting, because there's all kinds of skills that have to be learned, bone density, muscles, all of that would not meet the bare minimum requirements. And to learn that skill takes so long, even for younger people, that it's not worth the time and effort or the risk of injury for that woman. And if it were a man who was 30 years old, who was also super atrophied and had all kinds of aches and pains and hadn't really been active his whole life, I would also say, look, maybe Olympic weightlifting is not worth the investment of time and energy right now. You should probably prioritize doing simpler things first so that you can build up your skill level, so that if you do decide later down the road to approach this very high skill activity, then you at least have a solid foundation. An exercise like the one I've shown you today, where you're just holding a static position and balancing and holding and balancing and getting used to managing your body, is a generally low threshold of skill. It's not super challenging, but it is challenging to your muscles, which is exactly what we're looking for, so that over time you can increase the challenge by making yourself go into awkward positions, and then over time adding more dynamic motions, getting into a sport where you are off balance, where you're running around. That's how it all transfers into more complex high skill activities. But you don't want to jump into the high skill activities thinking that that's going to improve your balance. You want to start slow, because slow is safe and fast is foolish. And you want to work on the muscles so that you have the control you need when you need it in the higher speed, more dynamic activities. In short, it's not about your age, it's about whether you are properly prepared for the level of difficulty of the exercise. And since these exercises aren't that difficult, you should be fine, but make sure you scale it to where you are right now. So don't do the most difficult version of this exercise, throwing your leg up in the air, when you can't even balance with assistance from the wall and a chair and your foot. And just in case I have to be this explicit, please do not do this on a yoga ball to start, because you will probably break your neck, shoulder, or wrist. So that's it for this balance exercise. If you want help rebuilding your hips and legs at home, go to uprighthealth.com/DIY and find a program that'll work for you. If you liked this video and it really helped you out, drop me a comment down below and tell me what you learned, and remember to hit the like button. If you want more free videos to help you with your body, be sure to check these out here. Subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone you know who needs to improve their balance too, and as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.
Pain sucks, life shouldn't.